Hello once again. This is a TCOS update for 4:30 p.m. UTC, January 11th. We had a break yesterday, so we are back today with the latest. Now, a lot happened, of course, since that time. Tiffany went and made landfall in Australia and is still there in the Gulf of Carpentaria, in fact, about to make landfall in the Northern Territory. 5P was obviously named Cody, so we'll put that in already before we go any further. But let's take a look across the tropics. First of all, the Atlantic, of course, and in the off-season I like to point out some of the extratropical and winter storms as well. But the first thing you'll notice is this little area here, 1009 millibar low, which won't become tropical, but an interesting feature there that GFS has had marked for some time. Not much happening in the early stage of this model run. Later on, though, you can see here hour 84, massive extratropical cyclone bombing out off the coast of Canada. That will deliver possibly extreme or large amounts of snow and along the coast rain. So a big extratropical low that hits the Atlantic Canada region. Behind that, another one there in the longer range, but obviously nothing tropical. Let's check out the Eastern Pacific. Now, an interesting feature there. It's already starting to appear, but it won't become anything. And in the longer range, nothing. The Central Pacific. Typical pattern there. Very quiet, dead. The Western Pacific, some windstorms blowing through northern Japan and out over there in the North Pacific Ocean, but nothing in the tropical zones once again. Indian Ocean, I keep saying we're looking out for that first Southwest Indian Ocean storm. Still not happening yet. So far, it is the latest start since 1998. And still doesn't appear to be anything on the horizon. So to the Australian region, which is obviously the area to be looking at right now. Tiffany, easy to spot there. GFS giving that a 995. Let's see if there's any observation points that we can refer to. Obviously, bomb. They themselves are going for a Category 2 landfall on the Australian scale, and they're currently giving it. Let's have a look. They have got 50 miles per hour on it, and I can't see the pressure there. I think it's on a different forecast, but going with 50 they are. But let me just check some local observations in that area. Just loading this up. So Groot Island is probably the best place to look right now, and they are currently at not very strong winds, and the pressure not dropping very much at this point. I think that's current as well, or nearly current. So 995 is probably not the correct, but it's going to be higher than that. The question is how much higher, and my guess would be not by that much actually, only a little bit. So we'll be going with 50 and 997 for Tiffany's latest update. Just move this window. So obviously a landfall very soon indeed, within the next 6 hours. So that will keep the numbers pretty high. As a matter of fact, it's dropped slightly since the last time we did TCOS. That was before its first landfall. And then you can see it actually holds on there, still traceable there. That's Tiffany on day 5, and off it goes into the interior of Australia. Okay, nothing else on the horizon there. The South Pacific then, of course, we have Cody. and it looks like an interesting system on satellite. There's half of a storm there and an eaten out eye, I think it's fair to say. Let me just take a look at a satellite loop to get some more background on that. So yeah, probably not too far off hurricane equivalent status. Obviously it's not there. Let's just check what Fiji are saying about it right now. Getting all of my things up here. So they have it as a category 2 on the Australian scale, which means they haven't actually indicated what the winds are, but obviously category 2 is 48 to 63 knots. Let me have a look. The warning text. Fiji is a mess to get around sometimes. Oh, it can't find it. Well, that's really helpful. So it's somewhere between 60 miles per hour and 75 miles per hour. And I would probably go with 65 there. And we'll run with that 985 pressure because I've really got no other indications, to be honest. Apart from, actually, the initialization is a little bit higher, so 987. And then, where does it go? Will it affect land? Obviously, New Zealand, watching this closely. Look at that. Not sure. I don't think it's still tropical there. No, because you can see that axis there. But that is post-tropical, 980 millibars. Pretty strong. So for New Zealand, which I can't actually see on my priority list, it's actually just a 2. So landfall coming up. That's still 5 days out, so the scores drop because the threat to Fiji has gone. And this is where we're at. But for significant chunk of New Zealand could see winds of over 50 knots. So got to take a look and examine this closely to establish a population that will have probably a 10% chance, and that would be around 460,000. So that will add some extra points on as well. And then off it goes. So behind that though, it's this system here that's near Samoa, and that develops quite quickly. That's all within 5 days there. So we're going to mark that. And this is, I don't even know what number we're up to now. Are we on C1? I think we've only had the first 2. So C1 is this new system. Just got to sort the formatting out for it all. And that will be a future storm, obviously, located at 14 south, 169 west. Fade out that text a little bit because it's a future storm, obviously not a TS, and it doesn't have an intensity. What percentage should we give that? That's a decent chance there by the looks of it. It's on the very edge of this scope, isn't it? Is it on easier to see on the other one? No. I have to stay here. Let's just have a look at some ensembles to see how confident they might be about this. Not as much confidence as I was actually expecting. So I'm still a little bit skeptical on that one. 30% though, perhaps a generous 30%. And if this run was to verify, I don't think it actually affects any land masses there. And by the way, there's another one after that. This is very long range. I don't know whether that will happen or not, but we'll see. Let's check further out then, so you can see the other half of what this storm does on the forecast. Where is it? There it is. And yeah, quite strong. Look at that. 961. And it does affect some islands there, part of French Polynesia. I think those are the... is is it the Austral Islands, I think, at hour 174, which is obviously quite far out. So, oh, it's gone into a negative score. That's not supposed to happen. But I'm sure we'll sort it. There we go. So that's interesting. That's C1. Fascinating system. Let's take a look at the South American region for the fun of it. Massive extratropical cyclone down there on day 5. European region. A significant earthquake in Cyprus earlier as well. Last night, I think it was 6 point something. But weather-wise, really nothing to speak of, apart from this very interesting extratropical cyclone, broad and strong, that could go on to affect the Baltic nations and Scandinavia on day 5 and 6. Just for the current demand factor, it's actually gone down a little bit, but we are still code blue. That's as of 5 PM UTC, January the 11th. 2 tropical storms and a 30% chance of forming. That's your TCOS for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again hopefully tomorrow. I'm not sure what our schedules are like, but I think it will be the same time tomorrow. So I'll see you then.